This video is about right leg W higher patterns, and this specifically this is in the price chart, price green and price red. And on this video I'm going to explain a few things about what we see. We actually have from this line right here to the next this is the left leg of the W, which is 5 days away from the right leg of the W. And green was higher on both of those legs, so we don't have any divergence, at least in the price chart. But we do have a nice 5-day right leg W higher in the price chart. You can see that in the zip chart as well. In here we had a couple of days where zip green was at 0, and then zip green came down and touched 0 again right on this yellow vertical line, which is the day before the 3-day strong uptrend movement. And when green, I say, sticks its head out and comes out underneath like this, it oftentimes will cause a reaction, price back up. It did it right over here a little bit. You can see price green came down again, but in this case here, price green was at 10.9. So it did come down, but it didn't come down to 0. Like it did over in this case. It's price green. Oh no, excuse me, I read the wrong line. I read price green instead of reading zip green. Zip green is at 0 here, and it goes back up after it being on a pinpoint. And zip Zion on here is at 2.5, and then of course zip pink is right in there with the other two at 2.4. Now if we go down to the swing chart, we see that again we're in a right leg W pattern. Swing Zion is your price barometer, and it comes down and down touches into the fast moving line of swing pink. Now this is normally or let me define this. When we have down touches, the narrow lines down touch into narrow or fast lines down touch into your short-term trend lines, like your trend trio, yellow, pink, blue, or your power orange and green, or your swing red and green. And we draw them wide on the charts because we want to, because they're more visible that way. And then there are the 0 lines that you can down touch. Those are the key ones that you down touch. But when you have key indicators like price barometer indicators and a few other things like I can't even think of any of the other situations that I wanted to talk about there, but when they down touch, when swing Zion, the price barometer down touches the leading. That was the other one, the leading indicators, because sometimes it can be reversal. It can be reciprocal situations where the fast swing pink hits the like over in here. There's an exact example. Pink is down touched into Zion. Now, anyway, those we can have additional down touches into other types of lines there. We don't often carry a lot of influence with them, but it's just a little bit of supporting evidence that we can look at. If you go over here to the power chart, you're in a right leg W as well. And then, of course, if you're up in here into the trend chart, you see that in trend, with trend red, it has down touched the pink, and trend green has crossed over. Trend green right now is at 23.86. The day before it was at 24.37. So it's in the negative. So it's gone up a little bit, but trend pink is at 24 and trend green is at minus 23. So we know green is on top of pink, which is a key indicator for a gap up or a nice strong movement up. We like to think that when green is only a point away from pink, that it is going to gap up real nicely. But here's a key idea that you need to relate with, and that is when the trio lines are under zero and you have down touches, they might not be as strong as the down touches when they're above zero, and by that I mean the very next day, not necessarily the uptrend. However, we can, when you have, in this case here, we have a double touch of the, and we also have actually a triple touch. I had to spread out there. We have gray down touching into yellow. So in this example here, we have a triple down touch, gray into yellow, red and green into pink, causing us 3 days, and the 3 days just kept getting stronger in the total candle length movement. Likewise, over here we had a similar situation. Trend red in this case down touched into zero, and trend green was a low angle up for the second day in between yellow and pink. And that's indicative of 2 days sitting in a position that should drive, when green comes in there, should drive it up. Now, next day in this particular example, we had a higher red candle. It gapped up and it actually hit the 200 moving average. And coincidence? I don't know. You can say the 200 moving average line was why the higher red candle appeared on this day. But we can also we also have experience in knowing that sometimes we get a slower uptrend when we have down touches in the trio when they're under zero. So I just wanted to point that fact out to you, and food for thought, as they say, and help you to recognize when we have multiple patterns. And in this case here, we had a 5-day right leg higher W pattern, which was supported in almost every chart. Yeah, it is. And with that we then had, on that day, we then had some trend red and green down touches. So good example of how the indicators show you things in the market. Excuse me. You know, you had the zip green down touch zero. You had the 5-day right leg W. You had the trend down touch. You had just a number of patterns, all pointing in the same direction. And those are the trades that you want to make, the trades that point in the same direction. So appreciate you watching. I'm grateful if you've seen a number of videos. The sensitive indicators are powerful. The sensitive indicators are the heart of the system. You've heard me say that before, but we truly do have an absolutely fantastic system, and I do not know of anyone on the internet that is trading gaps before the gap. No one.